Canada has announced an additional $8 million to support Cuba as the country's humanitarian crisis worsens.
At this time, the announcement is $8 million towards international organizations that can support the people of Cuba at this time with aid and other supplies, including food. We will always be looking to do more.
That was Canada's Foreign Affairs Minister Anita Anand, who also said Canada's aim is regional stability. Cuba has faced shortages in electricity, fuel, even basic necessities for weeks now due to a U.S. oil blockade. The crisis deepened after Venezuela ceased oil shipments in January following a U.S. military operation that captured then-President Nicolas Maduro. In late January, Mexico, another Cuban ally, halted its oil exports to Cuba. The country is also experiencing its worst economic crisis in decades after President Trump threatened last month to impose tariffs on countries that send oil to the island nation. Anand says she has not discussed Canada's new financial support with her U.S. counterpart. And joining us now, Bisma, founder of CompassionAid Canada, an organization which brings medical supplies to Cuba, and she is in Cuba today. Thanks for being with us, Bisma.
Thank you so much, Carolyn.
Depends who you ask. $8 million may be a lot or not enough. What do you make of the announcement today?
Well, anything that helps Cuba, any amount of humanitarian aid is good. Like, you cannot say no to any amount. So anything that Canada provides is much appreciated, and I think it will go a long way.
Tell me about the situation on the ground. We've heard of rolling blackouts, power outages, kids not going to school for full days, businesses shut. What are you experiencing there?
Yeah, so that's true about the businesses being shut down earlier than normal because, you know, fuel is limited, electricity is limited. We go almost 20 hours a day with blackouts. We might receive 3 to 4 hours, and it's sporadic. You don't know when you'll get it. It might be middle of the night. It might be early in the morning. So you never know. So people kind of adapt and get everything ready as soon as they possibly can. Like when the electricity comes on, you know, do your cooking, you do your washing, you do whatever needs to be done, you recharge everything. So that's how life is, unfortunately. And with the fuel shortages, it's, you know, even if you have gas generators, there's no fuel to power them up. So you're really, really stuck. A lot of businesses have had to shut down, like I said. A few have closed. Prices have risen. It's a real challenge to get from one location to the other now because of the fuel, because fuel is allocated for certain, like the taxis and stuff. So they might not have fuel until February 28th, for example, and that's rationed. So, you know, they might, and because of that, prices have gone up. So transport is very expensive right now. And rightly so. There's nothing they can do.
And tell us about your organization, CompassionAid Canada. How is help reaching the people of community through your organization?
So CompassionAid Canada, I started it officially about a year ago. It's been a little over a year. And I did it because I had been coming to Cuba and bringing in medical supplies on my own. I started with, you know, a couple suitcases on each trip, and then it just started into, you know, the need was so great that I just kept going, and I felt, you know, you've got to do something to help when you see the reality. I only work in remote areas, so I don't work where, you know, the resorts are and they see a lot of tourism and stuff, which has also, you know, right now it's halted because of the Canadian suspension of all the airlines. And that's also due to the fuel shortages. So, you know, it's just something that I felt, you know, once you see it, you can't unsee it. Once you see the situation, and especially the remote areas, you really, you know, you have to do something to help, or you want to do something to help. And that's all I tried to do.
What do people need most? What do people need most?
Medical supplies. Medical supplies. The hospital. That's what I bring in. That's what I focus on is remote areas and hospitals and polyclinics, old age homes. I've worked with a couple schools with art supplies and such, but the most needed are medical supplies. They are like running short of sutures, medical equipment, ECG probes, things like that, catheters. And I get lists from the hospitals. I get lists from the director to, can you bring in these things? And fortunately, I have a really great team in Canada that, helps gather the supplies. We have my good friend Karen Murray. She reached out to Hauser's Healthcare in Dunnville, and they donated a lot of things, but they're sitting in Canada right now. I'm in Cuba, and there's no way for me to get those things here right now. And I personally deliver everything myself so that, there's full accountability for everything that comes in, and it goes to who needs it. And, that's what we do.
Well, it's a lofty endeavor, and we salute you for that. Bisma, founder of CompassionAid Canada, joining us from Cuba. Thanks for your time.
Thank you so much.